Says a key part of his business was stolen from him right when he needed it the most. We'll explain.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
Thanks for staying with us. With today's snowfall, it marks Madison's snowiest October on record.
We have team coverage of the snowy conditions in Dane and Rock County, as well as what trick-or-treaters should expect while they head out tonight. Most of them are just heading out right now. But first, the wet snow may impact travel for trick-or-treaters tonight. Let's get a first look at the forecast with Gary on the snowy weather patio. Gary?
Well, like I said yesterday, the snow would be done by this time, but with all that snow on the ground, it's going to stay cold, and as skies clear out, it'll turn even colder. So our trick-or-treat forecast calls for temperatures to drop into the upper 20s by the time trick-or-treating is over, but wind chills will probably be in the middle to upper teens, even though skies will be clear. The last of the snow moving into southeastern Wisconsin and moving out into Lake Michigan. Temperatures right now in the lower 30s, most areas. A few places have already dropped into the upper 20s, and those wind chills right now, 20 degrees or just barely above that, and those will continue to drop. By tomorrow morning, temperatures will probably fall into the upper teens, but skies will turn cloudy tomorrow. We could see some light rain or snow showers tomorrow afternoon with a high temperature of 37. Later on, I'll take a look at the impact that this snow will have on our temperatures and also how much fell.
All right, Gary, thank you. We're going to continue to keep everybody up to date on the snowy Halloween forecast. On Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app, our meteorologists give you accurate hourly forecast, 10-day forecast, also your traffic and road conditions. You can download that free app in your Google Play Store or your Apple App Store on your phone. And with winter arriving in October this year, many drivers really never had the chance to get their cars winter ready.
No, it takes a while to get your winter driving legs back. Our Madeline O'Neill is live off Highway 151 in Sun Prairie with current road conditions and why you may have to wait if you want new tires. Maddie?
Susan and Eric, the snow's done, the sun's out. The roads look a lot better than they did earlier this morning, but driving just to work, I noticed something. I need new tires a lot earlier than I thought I would, and I'm not the only one. Apparently, a lot of others are noticing that as well. Broadway Tire here in Sun Prairie was slammed today. So was their location in Monona. Now, they tell me that they've been slammed all day as people rush to get their cars winter ready so they can be safe out on the roads.
That's usually why it gets busy, especially with the blizzard and everything coming like that. You know, people are sliding all over the road and, you know, so many repairs and things that have to get done. So definitely gets busy for sure.
Broadway Tire was so busy early this afternoon they had to stop taking appointments for today and start booking tomorrow. And of course, as people prepare to go out for the holiday today, Halloween, authorities want to remind people not to drink and drive, especially in wintry conditions like this. Now, coming up at 6, we'll hear more about why getting those winter tires is so important and have another update on roads.
Boy, it's good to see that sunshine outside, isn't it?
Makes a difference.
It's been a long day. Madeline O'Neill live in Sun Prairie. Thanks, Maddie.
Meanwhile, City of Madison Streets Department says it was prepared for this October snow, although leaves are still being collected across the city. Workers have been salting roads since midnight, but they are waiting to do those side streets.
Our plan is once it gets around midnight, once trick-or-treating's done, is to get into those neighborhood streets then and start getting some sand on just to kind of avoid any potential conflict with any kids walking around with dark costumes and things like that.
It's Brian Johnson, City of Madison Streets Division. He says be careful when you're driving those neighborhood streets. He says the leaves mixed with that snow are making it a little more slippery for all around the city.
With the snow, people are breaking out the shovels and snow blowers for the first time this year.
But a business owner who relies on those tools for his job says he's in need of some help tonight. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter joining us now from Janesville with why he's asking for people to keep an eye out. Adam?
Yeah, Eric and Susan, Casey Waller said it felt like a bad Halloween trick when one day before the biggest snowfall of the year so far, his snowblower was stolen from the back of his truck here at the Rock County Job Center. The falling snow,
I have 17 different driveways I have to do.
Means work time for Casey Wallers.
You know, unless I want to spend 17 hours doing it, faster I get it done.
Who says after 30 years, not even an October blizzard can knock him off his game.
But we live in Wisconsin, so, you know, anything can happen.
Casey has clearing driveways down to a science and has turned that science into a way to support himself.
I don't have a lot of equipment. my snowblower, shovel, and me. All I have is business cards. I never advertise. Just do good things for people and word of mouth, and yep, things stay pretty busy.
But just ahead of the year's first snowstorm, a crucial piece of equipment gone.
And I got my truck, went to pull out, and I heard a clatter sound. I was like, what was that? And looked back, and my shovel had fallen. Well, that's when I knew my snowblower wasn't there.
Casey's Toro Snow Commander snowblower that's helped him clear driveways for a decade, stolen. Even the sheriff's office not able to help. And when your job relies on efficiency,
the faster you get it done, the more money actually per hour you make. I mean,
Casey says it's one thing you can't afford not to have.
Casey says this snowblower is one of a kind. It's not just something you could walk into a store and buy. Not to mention, even if you could, it would cost hundreds of dollars. He's asking tonight if anyone knows where it is, just to give it back. No questions asked.
Yeah, man, that's tough to lose at this time of the season. Adam, thank you very much. Adam's live in Rock County.
Thank you, Adam. A teenager is in custody tonight, and 5 people are injured after a crash on Highway 51 this morning. It happened in the town of Dunn. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says a stolen car driven by 17-year-old Jekyll Jones of Fitchburg was heading south when he lost control and went into the northbound lanes. The SUV hit a minivan head-on and then hit 2 more vehicles. Deputies say at least 5 people were taken to the hospital. None of the injuries are life-threatening. Jones was arrested for operating while intoxicated.
And the snow this morning caused multiple vehicles to crash on Raymond Road just west of Muirfield this morning. Officers and first responders were at the scene of this multi-vehicle crash. Police didn't confirm the number of vehicles involved here, but it was more than 10. Fortunately, no one was injured.
2 people are facing attempted homicide charges related to a shooting in Madison earlier this month. Police say Benjamin Nickel and Jeremiah Kobe were arrested last night. Investigators say Nickel and Kobe shot at someone on the 600 block of Langdon Street during a drug deal. A man later showed up at the hospital with a minor gunshot wound believed to be related to the shooting. Brandon Buckner was arrested at the scene and faces a charge of second-degree recklessly endangering safety.
Farm worker suffered severe injuries yesterday when he became trapped in a road culvert tube. This was in Richland County, happened on County Road G just north of County Road E in Sylvan Township. Deputies say a 43-year-old man from Plain was helping pull a large manure line through a road culvert tube when he suddenly became entangled in the line, was pulled into the tube. Emergency workers found the man stuck in a 12-inch road tube up to his waist. He suffered severe injuries to his legs. He was taken to an area hospital.
This snow came just in time for everyone's favorite winter holiday.
Amy Reed joins us live from Verona, where people are getting ready for trick-or-treating tonight. Amy?
We haven't seen any trick-or-treaters yet, but people here in Verona are getting ready to see them. They aren't used to dealing with snow, so they've been out shoveling, they've been sprinkling out salt, and here at this house behind me, they've been putting the final touches on their yard. Some of these decorations couldn't be out in the cold and in the snow, and so over the last hour or so, they've been putting them out because tonight's the night that you want to impress those trick-or-treaters. And as for those trick-or-treaters, you want to make sure that they're bundled up. Put on the hat, put on the gloves. I'm being kind of a hypocrite right now, but you can also use hand warmers. I got that on me. I promise the families are still going to give you candy, even if you got to cover up that costume with a coat.
Yeah, Amy, make sure you get your gloves and your hat on. And have you ever shoveled or cleared off Halloween decorations of snow before?
No.
I don't remember
crazy?
that. That's unbelievable. It was quite a day. All right, Amy, thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Have fun out there. The biggest threat to kids this Halloween isn't getting tainted candy. It's getting hit by a car. Kids are more than twice as likely to get hit by a car on Halloween. That's according to the National Safety Council, and they attribute that to a couple of things, including the fact that it gets darker earlier this time of the year, and many costumes have dark colors. The Madison Police Department says drivers, make sure you turn your headlights on early to make sure that you can see anyone trying to cross the street.
All it takes is a couple seconds for a kid to run in between some parked cars who is really excited about getting to the next house. So we do see a lot of kids that have that tunnel vision, and they have their eyes on that prize, their eyes on that candy. So as they get through these different streets, we just want everyone to be more aware.
Police say chaperones are extremely important when it comes to making sure that kids stay on the sidewalk and out of the road while they go house to house. They also say parents, make sure your kids have a flashlight so that drivers can see them.
And you can make some cash from that extra candy if you don't want to eat it all. There's a program called the Halloween Candy Buyback where local businesses, like many dental offices, will pay for your kids' Halloween candy. Sometimes it's with cash, other times in exchange for coupons or items like toothbrushes, which will come in handy. There are also donation drives, programs like Treats for Troops and Operation Gratitude. They collect candy to send to deployed troops and first responders. And the Ronald McDonald House Charities will donate your unopened candy to severely sick children who didn't get the chance to trick or treat.
If we can kind of get it out of sight, out of mind for even the parents, that can be really helpful.
And that's Tammy, a registered dietitian, a mother of two. She says if you do plan on keeping all of that candy, she recommends maybe freezing it, then you can repurpose it to use in some of your upcoming holiday season baking.
Well, a lot of families spent today navigating the snow or thinking about tonight's Halloween plans. One Fort Atkinson couple was doing something that will give everyone pumpkin to talk about.
Well done. You played that well. Jamie Perez, who loved this lead-in, by the way. She introduces us to a local Romeo and Juliet who are getting ready to say, till death do us part.
As a little girl growing up, is this how you pictured it?
I always knew I wanted something different if I ever did. I didn't want the very traditional, ordinary weddings.
Jill Bowling and her soon-to-be husband, David Leash, have a wedding plan that no basic witch has ever done.
I'm a very artsy, crafty girl. I'm also a huge Pinterest freak.
This Hollow Queen's artsy qualities inspired her to create a Day of the Dead-themed wedding. And the groom-to-be is all in for the spooks.
I think I'll feel like it's probably the best day of my life.
Jill has spent the past year hand-making every single decoration that will be on full display at her wedding.
It's very unique.
You can say that again.
I mean, we'll have a candy bar, glow sticks, and our faces will be half done like sugar skulls and rhinestones. We have the hearse that'll be waiting out front of Jansen's, and David's gonna ride in the coffin.
With most attendees planning to show up in costume, Jill had to make sure she was no lazy bones here. She had to put a lot of thought into everything.
Glued all these rhinestones on myself. I ordered this dress off of Amazon. It was $97, so I made it my own. Here's our cake topper. And I made all these stands for the cake.
That's to hold the rings, and this is what the guys will be wearing.
Yep.
As they put the final touches on their special day, they made sure to include their loved ones who are no longer here.
Now, it's pretty special to us. We both, on both sides of our families, have lost a lot of close family members. I've lost my brother to suicide. Now it'll be 3 years ago. Also my grandma to cancer, and then I've had a great-grandma of cancer, and, you know, and then on his side, he's lost his mom. You know, a lot of very close family.
A way to honor the lives lost by starting theirs together. In Fort Atkinson, I'm Jamie Perez, News 3 Now.
And their wedding is on the Day of the Dead this Saturday. The couple added that people in Fort Atkinson, you're all welcome to attend as long as you show up in costume. Not sure about making him ride in the coffin in the hearse, but I like it. They've got some Halloween spirit. Badger women's soccer team racking up the awards, folks. Head coach Paula Wilkins is named the Big Ten Coach of the Year, the Defender of the Year, Cameron Begalski, Forward of the Year, Danny Rhodes, Goalkeeper of the Year, Jordan Bloomer, all kinds of awards. The Badgers, by the way, they'll play Purdue in the Big Ten tournament on Sunday.
For the second straight week, Aaron Rodgers has been named the FedEx Air Player of the Week. Last week, Rodgers threw for 305 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Packers travel to San Diego to take on the Chargers on Sunday. You can watch that game right here on CBS. It's at 3:25 in the afternoon.
Hold that shot. I still want to see. Oh, I want to see that touchdown one more time. All right, more to come now on News 3 Now at 5. We're taking an in-depth look at what you should keep in mind when you have to bundle up and buckle up. Danica Lewis joins us next at 5.
And then coming up tonight at 6, we'll tell you how the late snow is affecting farmers, especially one in Rock County.
And a quick look at the numbers on Wall Street in Thursday trading. The Dow falls more than 140 points. NASDAQ dropped almost a dozen, while the S&P lost 9. And we'll be right back. According to the latest statistics, more than 128,000 children 12 and under were injured in car crashes over the course of a year.
Most parents think they're strapping their kids into booster seats and car seats correctly, but most restraints are actually misused. Danica Lewis is here to remind us of what to keep in mind, especially this time of the year.
Yeah, not sure if we'd be talking about this particular topic this soon, but we are facing a long stretch of cold, which inevitably in Wisconsin is followed by even more cold. Sorry to make you yearn for earlier this week with this video here. Fact is, though, when you pile on the layers, it can be harder to keep your family safe. Experts say optimally we should be taking all of the heavy coats off before getting young passengers into the car seats. That's to make sure the harnesses are tight to the body and not to a kid's clothes. Now, you get in a crash, all of that puffiness can be forced out of the way, giving children more space to move and more chances to get hurt. So we should be putting coats and blankets over the straps. Look, I talked to parents that say this is just not practical to strip off all the layers, especially if you have multiple kids. So you want to make sure at least everything is sitting right up against the body. You may hear some complaining from the peanut gallery. So maybe it's best to get a lightweight hand-me-down if you can, so the coats aren't so bulky. We're going to have much more expert advice and a little more from parents as well coming up tonight at 10.
Looking forward to it. We'll see you then. Thanks, Danica.
Sure thing.
All right, more of that chilly stretch of weather Danica was talking about. Let's turn it over to Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary, any more snow to prepare for?
Well, I think the snow is over with, but it's the cold that's going to stick around because of that fresh blanket of snow on the ground. Well, when skies clear out for tonight, those temperatures will drop off very quickly. And so for the trick-or-treaters heading out tonight, look for partly cloudy skies that turn mostly clear, but that'll just allow the heat to radiate away from the ground, and temperatures will drop into the mid to upper 20s. However, you factor in the winds. They won't be terribly brisk, but any kind of a wind with temperatures in the 20s will drop wind chills into the teens. As far as snowfall reports are concerned, heaviest amounts appear to be just to the south and the east of Madison. Palmyra, 7.2 inches, Delafield, 7.1. Officially, Dane County Regional Airport, 5 inches. That was as of mid-afternoon. There might be a little bit more to that. 3.9 inches fell during the day today. And then Richland Center, about 4 inches. And amounts really tapered off north and west of the Wisconsin River down to about an inch in Boston and over toward Crawford County. Now, the last of the snow is out. High-resolution Doppler showing just a few flurries over southeastern Wisconsin. Those are moving out into Lake Michigan as the main part of the storm system rapidly moves away from us. But it was the snowiest Halloween on record with 3.9 inches since midnight. So that's the most snow we've ever received on October 31st. And so far, this has been our snowiest snowiest October with 8 inches of snow. What does that mean for the entire season? Well, you can see when we've had some snowy Octobers, usually amounts are a little bit above average, but again, it just gives us a head start on the final snowfall totals. Live here from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville, notice how the skies have cleared out over southwestern Wisconsin. Still a few clouds looking eastward from the WISC Skycam. The Edgewater Skycam showing more clearing out to the west, and again, that will allow the temperatures to drop off very quickly overnight. As we check out the almanac, high temperature 32 degrees, that's 20 degrees below average, 27 the overnight low temperature, and right now we're sitting at 31 with a northwesterly breeze at 12 miles per hour. That drops the wind chill in Madison to 22 degrees. This storm system, which has kind of developed just off to our east, we're on the back side of it with the snow moving away. On the front side, that's severe weather that's occurring through parts of Pennsylvania down into Maryland and Virginia. So while we were dealing with an October snowstorm, they were dealing with severe weather and tornado watches out there in the warmer air. Temperatures are still well into the 60s and 70s as far north as Pennsylvania, while on our side of the storm, temperatures are in the 30s and dropping into the 20s to our north. So as we look at future track, the rest of the snow moves away, but just as quickly the next weather system comes in, this one will have much less of a punch with it, but it could bring some light rain or snow showers tomorrow afternoon, and then following that, skies will stay cloudy into Saturday with temperatures staying below normal. So skies will turn mostly clear overnight, low temperature dropping to 19 degrees by morning, and for tomorrow, look for a high of 37 degrees, but it'll turn cloudy, and we could see some rain and snow shower chances in the afternoon. You can see that on future track. Clear skies overnight, a few clouds coming in by early tomorrow morning, and then the clouds and a few rain and snow showers tomorrow afternoon, maybe a few flurries lingering into tomorrow night. Saturday will be quiet but cold, high temperatures only reaching the mid to upper 30s, and as we check out the 7 to 10 day forecast, maybe low 40s early next week, and another shot of cold air hits midweek. At least we don't have a big snowstorm in there or any accumulating snow that I can tell, but Maybe a warm-up, we'll have to wait until the following weekend. As we take a look at first alert traffic right now, boy, there's the view at the Beltline at Todd Drive, and you can see traffic moving pretty slowly. There's an accident westbound on the Beltline at Todd Drive there. That's backing up eastbound traffic all the way at least to Stoughton Road, and we're also seeing a delay farther on the westbound Beltline near Sauk City. Right now, about a half-hour drive on the westbound Beltline from the interstate to University Avenue. Only 18 minutes going back in the eastbound direction. Heading out of Madison the usual times, 26 minutes to Janesville on I-3990, 17 minutes to Sauk City on US 12, and 20 minutes to Sun Prairie on US 151. That's your News 3 Now First Alert Traffic.
Thank you, Gary.
Still ahead on News 3 Now at 5, the impeachment inquiry is heading to the next step, how the president is reacting to today's initial vote. For the fourth time in our nation's history, Congress will begin impeachment hearings against a sitting U.S. president.
In a near party line vote, the House approved a resolution that allows Congress to hold public impeachment hearings against President Trump. The resolution designates open hearings and allows the president and his counsel to question witnesses. But the president must cooperate with the House investigation, or Democrats can strip his rights.
That's the equivalent of saying in the First Amendment, you have the right to the freedom of speech, but you can only say the words I agree with.
We take no joy in having to move down this road and proceed with the impeachment inquiry, but neither do we shrink from it.
President Trump watched the vote at the White House and tweeted the greatest witch hunt in American history.
More fast-moving wildfires have devastated communities in Southern California. The latest fires erupted in this heavily populated area. This is east of Los Angeles, forcing more than 1,000 to evacuate. In nearby Jurupa Valley, fires swept through several homes and a nature center. And in Northern California, crews are finally starting to take control of fires that have destroyed at least 140 homes in Sonoma County and wine country. That fire now about 60% contained. And we'll have another check of our local forecast in just a moment. Stay with us.
Snow is all wrapped up now, winding down?
Yeah, the snow is gone.
Good.
But it's on the ground. That's the problem.
Right.
You know, for the kids going out in their Halloween outfits, look at these temperatures. I mean, Janesville's at 34. That's about the only one of the few temperatures that's above freezing. Here in Madison, we're already below freezing at 31. And then you factor in the winds, we're seeing wind chills in the upper teens and the lower 20s, and those will continue to drop, probably in the upper teens for much of the time for trick-or-treating. Some rain and snow showers tomorrow afternoon. Generally quiet weather through the weekend, maybe some rain or snow showers Monday, and then colder weather again for next week. Until we can get rid of the snow on the ground, we're going to stay cold for a while. All right.
Gary, thank you. Thanks for joining us. We're back at 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News.